Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and we're talking about bribing and negotiating. And it's funny because one of the things I did for 14 years is I trained SWAT teams, and I specialized in counterterrorism. I trained them in counterterrorism, and I specialized in hostage rescue. One of the hardest things to do is when someone's holding a position to take that position, to take over that position. That's what hostage rescue is. You are taking somebody's position, and that's what I really specialize in, is hostage rescue. The first thing is, when I came back from Vietnam, I had these skills already. So I wanted to start, well, I didn't call it a SWAT team, but I wanted to start a special unit, and all I wanted to do was rescue hostages, and that's all. And so I've been into it a long time. And I say that's because in Vietnam, I learned lots of unique skills. And I wanted to pursue it even more, and I couldn't. That's another story, but anyway. But I still had the skills and abilities. And it's funny because even now I'm getting to be an old man. Well, it doesn't make any difference. I can still use the skills and abilities because a lot of it it's right here. A lot of it is just like you see my videos. I've got over 1,100 videos. I doubt if there is, I don't even know if they're all to the public, but YouTube videos anyway. And less than 50 show you the act of violence, I guess you might want to call it, doing something. That's because most of everything is in the mind. Getting yourself set up, preparing for all this stuff. That's where it is. Probably better than 95%, maybe even 98%, 99%, maybe that much. Because once you're mentally focused, you can do about anything. And doing it itself really is not that time consuming. But like I say, you mentally got to be focused and ready. And that's what all of my videos mainly are about. And but it's the same thing. See, you're doing all this before you need to use the violence. That's the same thing when I'm negotiating. I say I give the copper coins. I talk about the manners and the mannerisms. The way I carry myself, the way I treat others, and stuff like this. And that all is the negotiating part. But it's not across the table negotiating, face-to-face type negotiating. I'll do that, but it's a lot easier to set everything up ahead of time. That's why you see lawyers are always so nice and polite, and they do all this stuff to because that's what I'm saying, especially to other lawyers. They do this to other lawyers. Even though they might hate this other lawyer, they'll still be real nice and cordial to them. Because like I say, they know their paths are going to cross in the future. That's basically what I do. I don't know if our paths are going to cross. So I'm just naturally nice to everybody anyway. And like I say, when it's time to be nasty, in other words, I'm always standing up for the underdog. And when it's time, it's funny because the people see this. I say now down here, I've only had to use brute force one time. And when I did, it caught everybody's eye. So, for one thing, like I say, they don't use force down here. Good people don't. It's the bad people, because the people have been dumbed down so much. They're so they're so relaxed, they don't know how to fight back. I talk about that 90-some% of my videos, talk about that. They don't know any of this stuff. And so they're just walking victims. And they're victimized by the state, and they're victimized by gangs and organized crime, and they're victimized by everything. So, and they don't have a plan on how to counter all this stuff. And so, in other words, they're only nice when they have to be nice. They don't give. A matter of fact, they take, not a majority, but there's a minority of them that always are looking for an opportunity. And that's what I'm saying, like me, the gringo. They'll want to charge me extra, and because I'm a gringo. And if I am a gringo and I'm just traveling through, I understand, you know, going to charge me a little more, no big deal, because I make money, they don't. so that's understandable. But like I say, I live here. They see me, they know me, and so when somebody takes advantage of me, they lost me right there. I'll let you take advantage of it one time. And for them, they're taking a little bit, but in the long run, they're going to miss on a lot. So the idea is to be nice, and for me, it's more than just cordial. Cordial is, like, say, what lawyers do. They put up with each other. I don't. If it's somebody that I don't like, I just don't like them. And I avoid them. I'm not mean or nasty to them. But they understand. In other words, I get their respect because they know I dislike them. And since my wife was killed, that list of people I dislike has grown. And I'm not nice to them. And they do everything they can to avoid me. And because they're not quite sure my limits. And they're justified on doing that. But like I say, it's respect, but it's respect because of fear. And so, and I really hate doing it like that, but that has made my life easier. And because, like I say, if they didn't, I would have to be dealing with even more problems than what I have to deal with now. So that's an indirect way of negotiating. And I don't even have to raise my voice. I don't have to be brutal. I don't have to physically hurt people. I don't have to do any of that to get my point across to my threats. And I say, I sure don't be, I'm not nice to them at all. And so, but I say, I am not aggressive towards them either. And now that has a lot to do with the morals part of this situation. Because I am on the moral high ground, and they don't have any morals at all. I say they're really, they're takers, and they know it, and so they have no moral ground at all to stand on. So that's really why they're intimidated, is what it is, and that's why the morals is a big part of your strength, especially when it comes to negotiating. I say, when you have morals and everybody knows you've got morals and they are high morals, you got a high standards of morals, it's hard for them to victimize you at any degree. In other words, when it comes to money, there's times when I do work for free. So then, so the money isn't the thing. So in other words, they know I'm above bribing in the way of money. They can't bribe me with money. Now, they do bribe me with a free meal, and I say people put me up for the night and stuff like that. And but that's not, see, to me that's not really bribing, but it really is in reality. And see, so I'm even cheap to be bought off also. And but like I say, it's not the money that motivates me. So then that changes the dynamics of how you're going to make me do things. And that's the way I pretty much work with other people. Remember I talked about the nightclub I had. It'd be the same thing. Give free meals, free drinks, just all kinds of stuff. And these are the ways that good people really are swayed. I think, I don't know, I haven't this figured out for sure, but when people are swayed by money, that puts them in a different level. And there are people that do both. They're swayed by the little things, and they're swayed by the money, the corruption type money. Down here, a lot of times, if you want to start this business, you get a cousin or a wife or something of some political person, and you can get your business going. And it's kind of like the United States. How many of their spouses and kids and whatever and are CEOs or just work for some big company, and like I say, they're a politician of some type. So they're using the same tactics, so they've sold out for money some way or another, and that's something that it's a reality. It's not a good reality, but it is a reality, and it is a reality of corruption. And it doesn't have nothing to do with negotiating at all. And that's why I'm saying you have to put your when you put your morals, and you have to put your morals to the test, because that's how you find out where that line is from corruption to just being a giver and easy to get along with. And that's where you find that line. It's in the morals that you project and you expect others to go by. And the same thing, I do the same thing. I put pressure on people to do the right thing. In other words, I'm making them put their morals on the table. And when it's negotiating and they have to put their morals on the table, things really change a lot. Now, if you're negotiating and it's for money, then it's really another world. And money means not only just a cash, give me money, but like a lot of people, they're in fear of their own security because they've got a retirement plan, a pension coming. So that's why they'll watch out on who they're going to try to offend because they don't want to jeopardize their pension. So that's another way of negotiating by using their corrupt ways of looking at things. You can twist it around against them. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.